Well, at the round table this morning, we have a special, I was going to say a special commissioner. You are a special commissioner, but we have a we have a special guest from Ward 4, Jonathan Waddell. Jonathan, it's good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for being here on the show with us today. Well, first off, again, I know you've been in the Air Force. You've served in the Air Force. Thank you for your service to keep us safe and so forth. Tell us a little bit about yourself pre-city commissioner days and how you ended up in Enid.
I don't know if I remember anything pre-commissioner, but I'm originally from Washington State, Tacoma, Washington. I grew up there. Spent a little time in New York City after that, but joined the military. Got to travel all over the world. You know, places like Guam, Portugal, Kuwait. You know, I got to travel quite a bit, but loved the military. While I was in, I did construction for about 5-6 years, and then worked on navigational systems for the aircraft. After sequestration came around, and they offered me early retirement, and I just happened to be stationed here at Vance during that time frame, and went ahead and took that early retirement and settled down here, found another job, and.
Wow, early retirement at age 21, huh?
Yeah, it's not the actual early retirement that you think. It's just, hey, look, you get to find a new job. Type retirement. So.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, right.
Well, Sarah's got some real tough questions for you, so here we go.
All right, I've been studying. Let's go.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
We are really glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
I know that, well, we do attend the same church, so I got to hear your speech before you actually went in and decided you were going to do this. But I think everybody wants to hear what made you run for office.
You know, I've always had an interest in politics, and I think I've had a life of serving the community in terms of being in the military, and but I've always had an interest in trying to help the community and try and help any way that I could. And so, Enid is home. We fought to stay here. My family did, and so we're going to do everything we can in order to be able to make it better. And so this was an opportunity to do it. So jumped all over it.
Well, I'm sure with your diverse background, the military background, there are experiences, there's tools, there's resources, but what do you bring to the city council based on your background?
Well, I think it's just really a unique perspective. It's one thing to have been raised in Enid and experience Enid, and I think sometimes, when you get so familiar with something, you tend to take some of the things from the environment for granted. My family and I, we came to Enid and we fell in love with Enid. We got to see the entire world, and then we came to Enid and said, of all the places we could go, Enid is the place that we want to stay because we have such a love and appreciation for what Enid has to offer.
Yeah, that's what we put in the air. That's
the water or something. I don't know, but
It's definitely the water, I'm sure. What do you hope to achieve by serving as a city commissioner during your term?
Well, one of the things that I learned in the military was, and I had some wonderful supervisors, and what they taught me is that you always want to leave something better than how you got it. And so my perspective and really what I want to do is I want to try and make Enid a little bit better than when I took the commission spot. So there's a lot of things that I'd love to be able to put emphasis on. One of the projects that I'm working on right now is trying to get us a youth center for the community. I think a community this size, I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club of America, and I loved and made a lot of lifelong friendships in that organization. So one of the things that I'm working on is trying to put together a youth center that can serve the entire community of Enid. And so that's one of the things that I'm really pushing for. So if you're out there and you want to help, I'm taking phone calls.
Yeah. And the number is 1-800-JONATHAN.
Right.
Yeah. So you call that and just keep it ringing. Maybe they'll pick up pretty soon.
We'll see.
Well, Commissioner, you represent Ward 4.
Yes, sir.
And here we are in December. You took office in February. So I know it's been a blur for these 9-10 months.
Definitely.
But is there any surprises on how the meetings are handled, the way things are done in Enid? Is there any surprises or, I guess, questions about surprise? Well, I guess surprises is the word.
So I guess the surprise in the sense that the meetings are interesting to where you have your procedures and you go through all your processes, and then there's a time in which people get to speak. And one of the things for me is that I love to debate and I love to argue, but you don't get to in certain forums. And
you want to say that again, just in case people missed that?
So I have to you have to be a lot more restrained than what I'm used to in terms of how you communicate your point. And so it's been a challenge in that. It's also, you know, when you go in, you have all these lofty ideas about what it is you want to accomplish. But with the, you know, our process, you have to understand that until you have the support of the other people on the council and the community, they're just ideas. And so that process of being able to garner the support of the community as well as the other people on the council is an arduous one.
And that process is what, backroom deals and stuff like that?
I'm totally not no. It really is just conversations and really talking about gathering information and making your point the best way possible.
And I appreciate you sharing that, because I think sometimes people lose sight of the fact that you're just one voice.
That's it.
There's several other wards, several other commissioners, and you could have the best thing since remote control of an idea, but if the other commissioners don't view it as that way.
But I think there's purpose in that. I think our process is set up to where you don't have one person who can drive their agenda, that we have a committee of individuals who can work together for the best of the community.
Very good.
Very good. I think it's great that you guys are eliminating arguing, debating, and definitely working together to make Enid a better place.
Sure.
What do you think is the key for working together and ultimately making successful decisions for the community?
I think if we have to respect one another, and I think we can attack a position, we can attack an idea, but we don't attack the character and the character of the other person that you're dealing with or the people that you're dealing with, and you don't attack them. We can differ in opinions and approaches and things of that, but to question another person's character because they have a different opinion than you that's not how the process goes forward, and we find ourselves to where we can't accomplish anything if we begin to do that. So I think if we maintain a certain level of decorum or respect for one another, we can learn to disagree without tearing each other down.
Well, it's amazing. 2017 is almost in the books. 12 months used to be 12 months. I think it's closer to 6 or 7. It just goes just so quickly. And with all the behind-the-scenes preparation that you have to do, yes, there's meetings maybe twice a month, but if you serve on other boards, you go to those meetings, but also the reading and preparation, so you're well-versed. I mean, I can imagine each week just runs together. As you look into 2018, what do you see the commission will face, and what's in store for the Enid community for 2018?
I'm very excited for 2018. I think with the turning the economy is doing a lot better. So I see a lot in progress in terms of economic development. I see a lot of, you'll notice over the last couple of years in terms of, with Advanced Pierre being bought by Tyson, there's potential for advancement there. You've had renewable energy investment in this area with wind and solar. There's been investment there. And so again, the continue in that path with all these different companies that are investing in this region, we have a potential for growth, and with growth of population, you have the increase in median income, which means we bring more businesses here, and it begins this cycle of growth for the community. And I think that Enid has a big 2018 coming in terms of economic development and expansion. Lots of big ideas and people coming with potential just overall advancement for the area. So I'm looking forward to 2018 in terms of economic development.
And I believe here at ETN, we view the same crystal ball, or see the same crystal ball, because many of the efforts with staff here in the marketing efforts to produce videos, to produce Enid in a light for the world to see that we're more than wheat fields.
Sure. And that's important. It's an invaluable resource in order for us to be able to present to the world what it is that Enid has to offer and what it is that we are, because it's easy for to fly over. They call these the flyover states, people to fly over. So it takes us a little bit more as opposed to places like Los Angeles and New York and bigger metropolitan areas for us to be able to show the world. Enid is not just a flyover place. We've got a lot to offer. We've got a great community. We've got great schools. We've got great infrastructure, and we've got a wonderful personality that is attractive to people once they get to know us.
Our special guest this morning at the round table is Ward 4 Commissioner Jonathan Waddell. Commissioner, we have just a minute or so. Let's back up a little bit. You talked about your exposure or involvement in Boys and Girls Clubs way back when, but talk a little bit more about this youth center, youth club, or whatever. that you envision, what you desire to see?
Well, I'd love to have a place really where kids can go and we can begin to start working. One of the lapses that we have is that our youth of today have a problem with soft skills, and so we need a place where the kids can go and kids from all different economic backgrounds can come together, play together, learn together, and start to take interest and practice and do things that begin to expand their capabilities. And so a youth center in that that middle school age to where they can come together and they can play together and learn together is something that is an investment in this community that can go for years and years and can produce fruit well after they leave middle school into high school and beyond.
Yeah, very good. In closing comments, here's your chance to speak to Ward 4 and the world. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you just felt like you would like to share in regard to your role as commissioner?
I really just want to thank the community. There's been a large outpouring of support for a lot of the initiatives that's gone forward, and I love this community. Enid is a great place. My family loves it, and I'm looking forward for the next 3 years of being a commissioner here.
Okay, and keep in mind that number is 1-800-JONATHAN, and we'll go from there. Commissioner, thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to having you back on Good Morning Enid in the near future.